Yeah. Woo. Yeah, that was awesome. Baseball, awesome. Umpiring, fun. What's up, everyone? How's it going? Welcome to Kevin and Zach React. I'm your host, Zach Bonder. The Orioles dropped this one 4-3 to the Washington Nationals. A game where it felt like the Orioles were completely out of it. It was over. Then they were creeping back in, and you're like, hold on, could this happen? Could something be cooking? Then you felt like they were on the driver's seat. Tie game. Orioles got the momentum. They're getting guys on. They just got to find a way to get guys in. Then the bullpen comes in, gives up the run in their one inning that they get. And next thing you know, some bad calls here and there, some more failed opportunities with runners in scoring position later. The 27th out is recorded, and the Orioles have dropped their third straight game. The Orioles, and I agree. You can blame CB Buckner for that Gunnar Henderson check swing. You can blame him for the James Wood no called third strike. Orioles batted 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Did the umping help? No, but let's be honest. They hit 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Let's go through the box score right now. Look, so I mean, it wasn't a bad day offensively in the hit category. I mean, how many hits did the team end up getting? 10. Yeah, double digit hits. So you're seeing here batting. Cedric Mullins 2 for 5 gets the run. He's staying hot. Gunnar Henderson 2 for 5. He could have had probably 2 or 3 more hits. Adley just absolutely gets robbed in the ninth inning. That looked like a beautiful single up the middle. O'Hearn with the 0 for Mountie 1 for 1 in his opportunity. Also got that hit by pitch. Jorge Mateo pinch runner. I get Tyler O'Neill gets his RBI sac fly. Listen, Tyler O'Neill, I understand he hits. He has big biceps. I understand he hits the ball far sometimes. Right now, I'm getting really frustrated with Tyler O'Neill. You know what? Maybe I like this. Maybe I like this view better. I think I might roll with this, guys. I think I might roll with this, but that's besides the point right now. Tyler O'Neill has been very disappointing so far this year. Besides a few home runs and then his outfield assists. Heston Kjerstad looked good, 1 for 4. Obviously, he gets the last out, but he had a few hard hit balls that just couldn't find the floor or just on the warning track. Jackson Holiday looked incredible tonight. Jackson Holiday looked great. 2 for 3. Also the walk. They said on the broadcast that Matt Holiday, I guess, saw something in his swing. And listen, there's like it's all those things I know people are saying, like, oh, make Matt Holiday the hitting coach, all that. It's Jackson Holiday. Like the reason that he is able to see that swing and know that something's wrong, or he knows that swing so well, is because it's his son's swing. He's been watching Jackson swing for whatever 21 years, 22 years. So I think that's just dad knows best. He Jackson, though, whatever tweak they made, it looks incredible. Then Ramon Arias coming up clutch with he gets the walk and then the RBI sac fly. Offense overall, pretty disappointing. I mean, the 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position, you have to simply come through there. You have to simply come through there because, like John's saying, letdown is an understatement. I'm going to get to Sugano in a second. I'm going to focus on the offense right now. Excuse me. I'm going to focus on the offense right now. But this Sugano definitely let Tommy Sugar down tonight. Westburg, it was great to see the triple. Just overall, it felt like these guys were showing some more fight. Weird time in the game was Cedric Mullins when guys are on first and second, I believe no outs, went for 2 straight bunts. Did not like that. Did not like that right there. He's our hottest hitter right now, with best with runners in scoring position. Would have liked to see him maybe swing the lumber. I get maybe the dropping down the first one, catch him off guard. If you get that, good, cool, awesome. Steal a single. But after that, I like Seti swinging the bat there, especially with one strike. So wasn't a big fan of that. It just all night it felt like the Orioles had runners in scoring position. It felt like the Orioles were threatening at all times tonight, and that's what makes this even more frustrating. And that's the word of the season so far is frustrating. It just was yet again another game where the Orioles here. How many guys did they end up leaving on base? So 1 for 12 runners in scoring position, 12 left on base. 12 left on base. The Orioles only needed 5 runs tonight to win. 12 left on base. I mean, let's go through it. Let's go through it because we're going to go through it. Tyler O'Neill 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position. Ryan O'Hearn 0 for 2 runners in scoring position. Mullins 0 for 1. Urias 0 for 2. He did get the sac fly. Rutschman 1 for 2. Rutschman had a good night. Henderson 0 for 1. Kerstead 0 for 2. Holiday 0 for 1. I mean, these guys had opportunities. These guys had opportunities, and it's just so disappointing. It just genuinely is. It's just so disappointing. But I'm tired of talking about disappointment. I'm tired of talking about disappointment. We're talking Tommy Sugar. Ignore Gregory Soto down there. Ignore Soto for the moment. We'll get to him in a minute. Um, Tomoyuki Sugano. Tommy Sugar. 5 batters in, he's given up 2 home runs. You're down 3-0. And listen, if you checked Orioles Twitter, if you checked the vibes in the dugout on the field, it didn't look great. It looked like, oh boy, here we go again. This is going to be a slaughter. Looked like the Nationals were hitting Sagano. Looked like he was hanging some stuff, and it looked like they were on top of it in a way that you're like, shit. This could get out of hand fast. And if I'm being honest, I started in the mindset of okay, Tomo, we need to get through 4, get through 5. Can you give us 5? Just save the bullpen at some point. What he did after that, absolutely incredible. Retired 19 of 21 batters, go 7 innings. Listen, you want to talk about that dog mentality? How about Tomo? I think he was at 86 pitches. Yeah, 86 pitches through 6 innings. Says, give me the damn ball in the 8th or in the 7th. Sorry. Give me the damn ball in the 7th. Goes out there, goes another 1, 2, 3. Tomoyuki Sugano, we want to talk about Tomo. They let him down. And I love how you put this over on X. Tomo isn't going to get you K's, but my God, is he a dog? That's one way to put it. Tomo is absolutely killing it. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. This is the wild card, and I think once the rotation starts to get healthy, Sugano is going to be that guy that takes you to a different level. This guy's good. I hope people understand. Once Eflin gets back, I'm feeling very good suddenly about Eflin and Tomo, 1, 2 in the rotation. You still need to add starters. You still need to go get that big guy, that front line. You still potentially could have Radish coming back way, way down the line in the season. But you add Tomo, you add Eflin back. Suddenly, that's two days out of the week that I'm feeling pretty good about your chances. You know, you get Bradish back. I don't know what they're going to do with Grayson now. The Bradish deep down line, but potentially, you can start piecing it together. And the way that I'm looking at it is, unfortunately, I hate to be this guy. If Grayson comes back, awesome. But like the way that they feel like they just keep pushing it back. Okay, they're having second opinions, and then it's like, okay, he might start throwing again in a couple weeks. We're gonna let you know. I don't know what I'm kind of going under the assumption that it, I don't. Okay, not the assumption. I am going. My thought process is we're not going to have him the rest of the year. If we do, awesome. Like I don't know if he comes back in 2 months, in a month and a half, whatever it is, and he can add to the rotation. Beautiful, beautiful. But the way that they've been talking about the injury, they don't really, I feel like, know what it is. I'm just kind of putting it on the shelf as okay, he's, if he comes back, he comes back. I'm not relying on it. I'm going about my thought process as he's not going to be there. And then we have to, figure out how to go on from there. So overall, back to Sagano, just what a gritty outing. It's the word that I think best just battled, gritty, just dug in and said, I'm going to help this team win. They didn't get it done, but it wasn't because of him. Tomo was absolutely incredible. 7 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, the one strikeout, no walks, not a single walk. And that's the best thing for me to see is the no walks because the most frustrating thing we've seen this year is, and Morton's been the big one, is how walks can blow up an inning. So overall, it's just been it's just been nice to see Tomo settle in because you take out that first inning against the Blue Jays, you take out the first inning against Washington tonight. He is having these stretches of really good pitching. I mean, Tomo has been that guy for this team. And that's why I keep saying when you get Tomo, when you get Eflin back, suddenly you start to build a better rotation. I think in 2 months, I think this rotation's going to be better right now. You get Kyle Gibson back. I think Povich is starting. If he can get his feet underneath him more, he's going to just continue to get better. They have the makings for a decent rotation. You have to go out there, and I still think get that big time guy. It's nice to have Eflin. It's nice to have Tomo. If Cade puts it together, it's nice to have him. If Kyle comes back and, Kyle Gibson can put up some decent innings, it's nice to have that. I still think you have to go get your big guy. And if Kyle Bradish comes back, awesome. Same thing with Grayson. If those guys come back, Tyler Wells, if they come back and they can pitch, awesome. But I'm not going to rely on that. I don't think the Orioles should rely on that. If you're relying on guys to come back from injury, if you're the Orioles and you're saying, okay, well, at least we get, Bradish back soon or, at some point this year, that can't be your mindset. If they come back and pitch well, awesome. But in no way can your mindset going into this trade deadline, going into this, back half of the season, or I guess back half, we're not even 20% in as head into the big stretch of the season. They need to have the mindset of they need to add to this team. I'm tired of them kind of feeling like, oh, we just need to add a depth piece here, a situational player there, and then we're going to be good. Go get a difference maker. He's not pitching well. Go get a Sandy Alcantara. Go get somebody that's going to help this team. That's what their biggest need is right now. They just simply need somebody that is going to help this team where you can look at them every 5 days and say, okay, they're going to go get us the win. It's what we had in Corbin for the longest time last year. It's what we've had in Kyle Bradish when he's healthy. A guy that every 5 days you look out on the mound and go, okay, we're going to get the win today. The Orioles don't have that guy right now. And, even when they are pitching well, like tonight, 7 innings, 3 runs from Tomo, they can't get it done. They just simply can't get it done. And it's disappointing to say the least. It's beyond disappointing. It's frustrating. Just overall, it's been tough. But we have to move on. We have to move on. Tomorrow's a new day. If you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. This is Kevin and Zach React. Kevin Oestreicher will be joining us in a few minutes. Overall, Orioles lose once again, third straight loss as they lose 4-3 to the Washington Nationals. Gut wrenching loss. One that you felt like they should have come away with, genuinely. So, I mean, in the comments, let's go one up, one down. We'll start with our one ups. One up, I'm going to take Tomo. I'm going to take Tomo. I'll take the low hanging fruit. I'm going to take Tomo. Tomo's my one up, absolutely battled. Dude just went out there and they needed somebody to just put on a strong performance, and that's what he did. He put on the type of performance that is going to win you games more often than not. If you go 7 innings of 3-run ball, you're going to win games more than you're going to lose them. First off, I'm ecstatic that he doesn't get the loss because he doesn't deserve that. I was so happy that they were able to at least tie it in the 8th. Obviously, I would have liked if they effing won it, but the fact that Tomo doesn't have to get the loss makes it a lot better. At least I feel like he didn't deserve a loss, so I'm glad. My one down, it could be a lot of things, but I'm gonna go with I'll go Tyler O'Neill. I'll go Tyler O'Neill. He got the sack fly, but it just felt like he came up in multiple situations with them with the opportunity to kind of put them ahead, maybe get a few more runs, and they were unable to do it. If you all go the overall one down, it's hitting with runners in scoring position. You're not going to 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position is not going to win you games. I'm going to be honest, guys. I keep thinking about how Tomo didn't get this win after he retired 19 of 21 straight batters. He literally had a rough five first batter outing, and then he just locked in. He didn't. I'm glad he didn't get the loss, but he didn't deserve that. We're going to go to call-ins a little bit earlier tonight, but we're going to put the link in the channel. Well, you guys know where the link is. So link is going to be there. So link is there. Come, talk about the game. Don't talk about the game. Talk about something else. Whatever you want. Whatever makes you at this point vent. Talk about something that makes you happy. Talk about something that makes you sad. Whatever is going to help you right now. And I saw people talking about, yes, tomorrow the Orioles do face the lefty. So prepare yourselves. Prepare yourselves because against Mackenzie Gore, and he's a damn good lefty too. It's not like we're getting another, guy that you feel like you can get one over on. This is a damn good lefty in Mackenzie Gore. So, but let's get to our first column. We're going to Arkansas. Joe, how you feeling?
Man, that was tough. Saw him come back. Heston, swinging for the fence. Just put it in play, man. Just put it in play. That's all we
He
had to
made
do.
some good contact. He made some good
But
contact. But yeah, I agree.
it
But
is what it is. Uh, you know, but you know what? We're gonna bring something back, Zach.
what we bring back, Joe?
We're bringing back the guessing game. The Orioles have sucked since I stopped doing it.
All right, what we got?
We're bringing back well. Today was a record day, but starting tomorrow,
I'm doing it.
we're guessing the case count. Got to do it.
We're doing it. We're doing it, Joe. I think we need something. We need the vibes back somehow. So all hands on deck. I agree. Guessing game's got to come back.
So everybody on X, follow the handle. You see it. We're going to guess the Red Bull cases starting tomorrow.
We're bringing it back. Bringing it back for the vibes.
Yeah, we did 360 today, man. I was a busy man today. So
There we go, Joe. Hey, those might not be fine, but you are, Joe. Hell of a
yeah,
job.
want a quick Arkansas fact?
Let's do it. We got
We'll
hey.
do, we'll do it. Arkansas re-entered the Union in 1868. Some people around here
Nice.
may not realize that yet, but we we are back in the Union. So just
Thank you,
just
Joe.
just in case they don't realize it, we are a state.
Oh, ah,
Some people still have two flags in their yard. That's all I'll say
Jesus.
about that. But
Jesus.
you know,
Well, you know what? At least, thanks for the Arkansas fact to get our mind off it.
and the Hogs
Mind
won.
off.
The Hogs won 4
There we
0.
go. There we go.
They
Well,
beat the
Joe,
Trojans.
appreciate. At least the Hogs won. At least the Hogs won.
Now we got to go to Florida and beat the Gators. So
Oh, that's gonna be a tougher one.
yeah, they're not the best team this year, but it's
All
SEC
SEC
baseball,
play. Yeah, I
baby.
was gonna say all SEC teams are hard. So, Joe,
Not
appreciate
9 games
you.
left. Not nine
Damn, is
SEC.
that already 9 games?
Not 3 weekends left.
Damn, I feel like that just started.
3 weekends left. This was the last midweek game.
Wow, Joe. Time really does fly.
It does. Now, if the Orioles can just start playing good baseball,
Hell yeah, I would love it, Joe. I would
we'll be
love it,
in
Joe.
business.
So, Joe, appreciate you calling in as always, my friend.
Yep. Everybody go tomorrow. We're gonna bring it back. See
Yep,
you.
go. We're bringing back the counting game. I love it, Joe. Let's try to get the vibes back somehow. Appreciate you as always, my friend.
All right. We'll talk to you guys later.
We'll talk to you. Now bringing on our most recurring call-inner, I guess. Big fan of the show. Glad he's able to. Kevin Oestreicher, thank you for hopping on with us.
Yeah, I just finished up. I was getting interviewed. Obviously, there's something called the draft tomorrow. So,
Yeah, how's that going?
yeah, been grinding away. Ravens are throwing smoke screens already. You'd love to see it. So that was fun. I had a good time there. Not as much fun keeping up with this game.
No,
I
Kevin,
guess
that
it
was
was
not me.
better than what we've seen. So I guess that's a start.
Like Tomo shoved, and like that's just why I keep telling myself. Like I'm like, okay, Tomo shoved.
Yeah, although now we're back to they're hitting, but they can't hit with runners in scoring position. So, but
Yeah, that's
at least they're hitting. I mean, it's baby steps, but you're also 10-13 now. Is that the record? No, 9-14. Oh, that was
9-14. 9 and
yeah. So
14.
now you have more losses than the Nationals do on the season, which is pretty embarrassing if you ask me. Nationals are a good young team though, but not that good yet. So.
Yeah, Kevin, it's I mean the entire game, it felt like the Orioles should have probably won this. That's what's even more frustrating is they
Yeah.
had the opportunity.
Hard hit
One for
balls,
12.
opportunities, bad calls, whatever it is. But of course, it all just is one big storm that goes their opponent's way. So
It's frustrating, Kevin, but at the end of the day, you know what?
yeah,
You got to find some sort of positive in it. Today it's been Tomo. Like that Tomo and Jackson Holiday. Those have been the big, Jackson with the whole thing with Matt Holiday this morning, noticed something in his swing and they fixed something, and then suddenly he's too heavy. I digress. Maybe hitting coaches should have done that, but
yeah. I also only have 9 minutes before I got to record Lockdown Ravens, so just
yes, I know. So we're gonna go on. We'll go to our next call in. We got Joey back there. Joey,
Hey,
what's up, my
folks.
guy?
What's
How
going
you
on?
doing?
What's going
Calling in
on?
from wonderful West Virginia after a horrible Orioles game. Maybe not horrible, but a horrible result.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's on your mind?
O'Neal, man, he's killing me. He's killing me. I know he's killing you too.
Yeah.
I wonder. I just wondered. We have Westberg hitting at what, 7, right?
Yeah.
And you have O'Neal at 5, and it's like, hi, come on, like.
Yeah, I get
O'Neal's
it.
the new guy. Like Westberg's the man.
Westy's been struggling. I get why they're putting him low, but at the same time, it's not like I feel like he's doing better. I would always rather have Westy towards the top than that in 7th, especially when it comes to that. Especially with O'Neal hitting the way he's been hitting. It's not like he's been, even when he's hitting hitting the ball. It's not like it's been rockets everywhere. It's been a lot of flyouts, strikeouts, stuff like that.
The discipline, man. It was just like, he went up there and he's swinging at that outside fastball. That was the killer for me tonight. That
Oh,
way outside fastball was like, dang, like, come on, man. Like, we need you. But it's you guys are downplaying the umps, but man, CB Buckner, like I didn't listen to the Orioles broadcast. I was listening to the Nationals. It was Brian Roberts and was it Kevin tonight?
yeah.
Can you imagine if it was Jim Palmer or Ben McDonald talking about CB tonight? They'd be killing him. It was horrible, horrible.
Man,
I would have loved to see Palmer with some of these calls. I would have loved to see, because Palmer would have been like, yep, CB, just another one of those bad calls from a bad umpire. And you're like, okay, John. Like, okay.
But I wasn't confused by Soto, but I really did think they were going to bring in Brian Baker. But I guess with all those lefties up, who knows? It's just a tough night. What can you do?
I'm the same way. I I guess they were going lefty. They were like, okay, the lefty's coming up. They wanted to get the advantage with Soto. The way he's been pitching recently, I don't know if I would have gone lefty there. I probably would have just gone Cano, get your best guy. Are they also thinking, okay, maybe this goes into extras? Do we want Felix ready for them?
Yeah.
I don't know what they were preparing for, but.
Did you guys see Brian Baker's glove? Do you see what glove he was wearing?
No, what glove?
It was blue.
Oh, yeah.
It was the Danny Coulomb special. I wonder if they use that glove where it's like Danny Coulomb said it was for he has a son who has autism. It's for autism awareness. Yeah. But it doesn't hurt if your glove is bright blue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
bright blue. Man.
Hey,
Brian
Baker's been pitching damn well too. He's been pitching damn well too.
That old bullpen has had guys that you wouldn't think would be pitching as well as they are, but there you go.
Didn't see any Keegan Aiken. I was surprised, but I don't know. It's I think they're tomorrow they'll figure it out. Like,
oh, I hope so.
Zach, you forgot to mention in your good games log who had a good game tonight. Adley Rutschman showed that he's gonna get it done. Like, Adley tonight had a great night for long ABs, right? Like every AB was 3-2, it seemed. And then when you make a mistake, he rips it in the corner. I said that was his bread and butter. And that's going to be him his whole career, right? Like, it's like rip those singles to the corner. The power and stuff will come, but like he's going to make them work.
Yeah. And that's when he's at his best, is when he's controlling the strike zone. He's found off tough pitches. He's using the whole field. Like you said, he'll foul off the ball until he gets one that he wants, and then he'll serve it up into right or left field, get that single, and we're moving on. And that's when he's at his best. When he's swinging at everything, when he's you can tell he's taking pitches that he wanted to swing at. He doesn't feel comfortable in the zone. You can tell. But when Adley's at his best, he's in full command of the strike zone.
Yep.
And then I just hope the last thing that the team takes away is, like you said with Tomo, it's like the adversity came early, first inning, the home runs come. But what the team can take away from that is this guy's a 35-year-old. He knows adversity. And like, you got Gunnar slamming his bat down, breaking it, and all this stuff. Like, they need to handle this adversity a little bit better. And then they need to be okay with this failure. And I think that's the next step that they have to take to start succeeding again.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Everybody's falling victim to it.
Yeah.
And it's spiraling for everyone. It's like one guy feels the frustration, and then another guy feels it, and then everybody gets in their head. And, guys have been able to weather it, but, they just have to put winning. The saying is winning cures everything, and obviously a win is not going to solve this. You have to string stuff together, get out of bad habits, get out of bad trends, and maybe get a better umpire in some of these games. But regardless, I mean, it's just it's not, we talked about it. It's not that they are losing, it is how they're losing. And at least the past two games, this game was like, okay, they didn't hit with runners in scoring position. A bunch of other bad stuff happened, but it's crazy that now we're in the stage of coping after loss and saying, hey, you know what? That was a good loss. Like, let's go.
No.
Like that, that's
we can't be back to that. We can't be back to that.
We can't do it. We can't do it. This team, oh my God. you'll think they have too much talent to be in that.
They got to overcome the adversity, man. It's all mental. It's all mental, and we'll see how they fix it. But we out of here.
All right, man.
Appreciate you, Joe.
Yeah,
hey,
good
next
talking to
time,
you guys.
we're gonna need
you, Joey.
Tomorrow. Gonna need just wear the blazer. Wear the just.
I know. Maybe that'll do it. Maybe that'll do it.
All right,
but,
I will.
Okay.
All right.
You know what? If they win, we know why.
I'll send you a pic. Don't worry about it.
All right.
There we go.
Let's go.
Appreciate you as always.
Have a good show, guys.
All right. Appreciate you, Joey.
Awesome. And then Kevin, I know you're about to head out.
I gotta bounce right now.
Yeah. So, any final words before you?
I hate to keep saying get him again tomorrow because it feels so lifeless. I mean, they played better compared to what they did the past couple days, but like, you got to hit with runners in scoring position, and they're hitting balls hard. I mean, they started off the game with 3 screamers, and they only get 1 hit out of it. It's like, come on, man, can we get a little something going? But
it's been it all year,
But when you have opportunities, you need to, again, and it's the 1-run games that really get you, because it's like if they had just done one thing better here, or one call went their way, it would have been maybe different. So,
yeah,
man, I'm tired of losing, man. I think
we all are. Kevin. So you go have fun talking draft.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody. Hopefully we're talking tomorrow after a win. Cesar Torres.
Oh my God, I used to love that man. One of my favorite ball players growing up.
Clutch.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Peace out, everybody.
Peace out. And that's Kevin Oestreicher, the other half of Kevin and Zach React. Go live after every single Orioles game, win or lose. So hit that like and subscribe button if you are new to the channel. Going on to our next caller. We got Ray behind the scenes. Ray, another tough one.
We're going to need to start a dialogue.
What do you got?
I did some quick math, and I'm in law school, so I'm not good at math. That's why I went. We, in our last 113 games, what do you think the Orioles' record is?
Oh, I think they've won 113. They've probably won like 53 games.
51.
Oh, I was so close.
So they're 11 games under 500.
Yeah. I mean, and they're playing like it. I can't sit back here and say that, like, that surprises me or like, wow, that's, yeah. Since, I guess, the 113, I guess, what does that take us back to? Probably mid-July last year, something around that. So
I think
about
it's late June, something like that.
Yeah.
And that's
so early.
That's counting the playoffs.
Yeah. But they deserve after you lose those.
Zach, we're getting to the point where, and I know Kevin would fight me on this, I don't know his full take on John Harbaugh. I'm a Harbaugh guy.
Oh, I am too. He is too. He loves Harbaugh.
Because I know a lot of people, don't like Harbaugh, but even when the Ravens lose, they're going to be ready to play the next week, no matter who it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not all of this is on Hyde. Hyde didn't ask for this pitching staff, but at some point, if you want to fire up your young club, you got to change something.
Yeah. And that's the, right now, it just feels like they're going every single day kind of in the back of their head. You don't have these expectations of going in for a win. It seems like there's this contentness of like they're going to go out there and they're like, we're playing ball. But yeah, I don't always feel like they're ready or like, oh, they've shown up ready to right the ship right now, and it doesn't feel like that. And I would love to know what the locker room's like right now. I would love to be a fly on the wall to hear those conversations of, what are the players thinking about leadership? Are they, fully behind these guys, but things truly aren't going right? Or are they like, hey, maybe something's going wrong and we need something else?
Well, and it's like 2 years ago, when we won 101 games and we had a lot of young talent and we were more fun than we were really good, if that makes sense. Yeah. We weren't, even when we won 100 games, I don't think we thought we were legitimate World Series contenders yet because we didn't have the pitching.
Yeah.
And I thought Hyde was pushing a lot of buttons. Tonight, and look, I know Gunner's supposed to be your best player, but when you're down a run, why is Mateo running for Mountcastle and not Gunner trying to swipe second? I know it's
yeah. Well, I was honestly more surprised that Gunner didn't run. I thought, I think Gunner I think Gunner's got that speed to go steal a bag. I was honestly, if we're being honest, I was kind of surprised that they brought Mateo in from Mountcastle under the sheer fact of you then have to take you don't have a first baseman. Like Ramon Arias is moving over to third base or to first base now in the ninth, no matter what, because it's not like you can, not play defensively if you tie this up. So that felt a little weird to me, that just base running thing. I get the whole you're trying to let's if we can get the lead, on a double, and I get that. I just was very much kind of also okay, not.
It was weird that was the spot they used him. I'm fine if you want to leave Gunner in, but Gunner's got to try to steal the base too.
Yeah. I think, I would have liked to see Gunner. I mean, unfortunately, this is all a moot point if they don't make that incredible. Adley gets that line drive that gets caught over the middle. He grabbed that. If that gets through, it's a whole different inning, and you probably score on Mountcastle's next pitch gets down the line. You probably score there, and then you probably get a sac fly to tie that up.
Adley's the one player that's struggling that I'm not worried about. He's getting so unlucky. Westberg, I'm concerned. I'm not. I know I've seen some people say send him down. You can't do that, but at least yet.
No, and he's a gamer. Westberg, I'm not concerned about at all. I think he's already showing signs. I mean, he's got the home run a few games ago, gets the triple tonight. It feels like he's seeing the ball better. He's putting better swings on it. So I'm not worried about O'Neill. Oh, I'm worried about O'Neill too. So I'm not worried about O'Neill in the way of I know he is a very streaky hitter, and he's going to go on a 2-3 week stretch where he's probably going to be the best player in this lineup. I'm just, he does that. That's his forte for his career. So I'm not worried in the sense that I'm okay, I knew he was going to have these down times. I would just really appreciate if we could see that, dominance kind of coming through at some point, just to give us, some sort of okay, hey, we know it's there type thing.
I agree. I mean, the one thing that worries me about O'Neill is him and Mountcastle are very similar in terms of hitting.
Yeah.
They don't seem to, when they're both in the lineup against a right-hander, they both hit righties average wise. But lefty, I'm concerned about O'Neill against left-handers. He's not hitting. He was brought in here to hit against
and that's
lefties.
why he was brought in to hit. So that, that right there also is just, if you're not hitting what you were brought in to hit, why do we bring you in?
Exactly. And I will tell you, I was really concerned tonight in the first inning when Josh Bell hit that home run. And I was like, same thing as you. Go, give me 4, and let's go from there. He gets 7. I really thought we were going to win the game, even down 3-1.
Yeah, because he kept fighting, and it looked like the team was giving them an op. That they kept getting runners on. It wasn't like the Nationals were mowing us down, and you're like, oh, 2 is too much. They always had runners on. They always were one swing away. It was just frustrating.
It always is. We're terrible with runners in scoring position. And I don't know if it's the approach, the mindset, but if we're going to dig out of this hole with the starting rotation we got to be better. We can't have one run in that 7th inning with how our pitching staffs looked, especially in a game where our pitching was pretty good, and then expect to win. That's why we're 9-14.
Yeah. I mean, this is a game you win. This is a game you have to win. Yeah, Sugano retires 19 of 21. He goes 6 shutout innings after giving up the 3 in the first. Yeah, you got to win that game. That's a game you got to win.
They're 500 in games old man Jenkins doesn't pitch. Saying.
There's the positive. There's a positive. Ray, appreciate you calling in as always, my man. Hopefully, once again, we'll talk tomorrow. Hopefully it's better.
Yeah, bud. Yeah.
So also appreciate you, my guy. We'll catch you later. Yeah, this Orioles, that's the most frustrating part about all this is this team has had opportunities to win, and this was one of them. This was one of them. Last night I said it felt like they just straight up once it was 7-0, they gave up. I was like last night it was just uncompetitive for 9 innings. It never felt like the Orioles had any chance. It just felt like as soon as Morton started giving up runs, you're like, well, wow, okay, here we go. That's over. Tonight, even after pretty much the second inning, once you felt like Toma was getting these guys and he wasn't stopping, after that, after that, it felt like they should have won. It felt like they had the momentum. So we're going to go to our next caller. We got Sam back there. Sam, what's up, my guy? You there?
Yep, I am here. It's good to see you, man.
It's good to see you. Wish it wasn't after another loss, but what's on your mind, man?
Yeah, I gotta say, so I watched the first inning, and obviously, I just joined, so I don't know what the feelings were, but it's like you see, Josh Wood hit that.
Yeah.
That ball had a family, and it's freaking dead now. Like 116 mph off the bat, I think was the exit velo.
Yeah. Yep.
And he got every stitch. I mean, that's one you got to look at and
Mhm.
say, okay, this dude is like he's special. I mean, that that
Yeah.
that was something. And then I'm like, okay, it's 1-0. The thought creeps in like, is Tomo gonna blow it? Like, what's gonna happen? And then you get Josh Bell, and I'm like, okay, it's gonna be one of those games. So I turned it off. I got him after the first inning. And I'm kind of following it through the app, and I'm seeing that Tomo's still in there through 6, and I'm like, what the heck happened? Like he
Yeah.
really dialed it in. And I'm like, you know what? I got to give him credit. Not just him, but well, because he's 35 years old. He's undoubtedly dealt with this kind of stuff back in Japan, but it's a different kind of animal here. And the
Yeah.
fact that he was able to just really throw out that first inning and dial it in for his final 18 batters, it was definitely impressive. So I mean, it was definitely a show, and that's definitely the main bright spot of the night.
Yeah, it's the main bright spot, and it makes it even more frustrating that they couldn't get him the win after he
Yeah.
just completely shuts them down. I mean, yeah, first five
Oh yeah.
batters, you're down 3-0,
Yeah.
and the mental side of baseball, it very easily could have gotten out of hand there. It could
Oh
have
yeah,
been
for
all of a
sure.
sudden,
Yeah.
and we've seen it
Absolutely.
this year. How many times this year have we seen an Orioles pitcher give up 3 runs early, and then
Yep.
oh, Charlie Morton, you look up 2 innings later, and you're like, it's 7-0. You're like, what? Like that's how it feels.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
escalates. And Tomo, not only you could see it was frustrating the opponents because he's not going to blow anything by you. He's not going to sit
No.
there and
Yeah.
have the nastiest stuff. He's just going to pinpoint accuracy, live on the corners, and beat you that way. And
Yeah.
it's beautiful to watch. It truly is. He gets weak contact. There were some innings where he was getting out of it in 6 to 8 pitches because they're swinging first 2 pitches, ground ball, weak ground balls, and you're on to the next guy. He was, I think, through 6 innings, or something. Uh, he was at like 75 pitches, and it's
Yeah.
like and that includes a pretty
Very
tough
efficient.
first inning.
Yeah.
Very
And
efficient.
that's why I love Tomo, because he's not a strikeout pitcher, at least not in America. I don't know what he was like
Yeah.
in Japan, but he's not a strikeout pitcher. Like he's a Zach Eflin, is a pitch to
Yeah.
contact. And those pitchers, tell you what, I'll take those guys over a Paul Skeens who's blowing smoke, but
Mhm.
maybe his pitch out gets up in 80s or 90s in the 5th or 6th inning because he's striking out so many guys, and his pitch count's raising up. Like I'd rather have a guy that strikes out. I think Tomo had 1 strikeout tonight, and I'm like, you know what?
Yep.
He threw 7 efficient innings. Take out that first inning, and he throws a shutout. Like he gave them the chance to win, and they just couldn't cash it in. And there's one thing that I was listening to you guys earlier today,
Yeah.
and I think you guys made the observation, or really not the observation, but like how everyone is admitting in the clubhouse there's nobody who's taking charge,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
that's why these guys are where they're at. And I think that primarily falls on Brandon Hyde. That's where it
Mhm.
starts. But it's like, okay, you went out and got Charlie supposedly for innings, but if he's not going to be efficient, at the very least, lead the clubhouse. You got
Yeah.
Gary Sanchez, who I'm not sure where he's at. O'Neal is a veteran.
Yeah.
I guess you can call him a veteran. But I mean,
I don't think
he's
he's the
looking
type of
awful.
veteran coming in and taking over a
No,
clubhouse.
no, not
Unfortunately,
at
I
all.
think,
Yeah,
and not unfortunately, I think the guy that you're almost relying on being that guy is Kyle
Gibson.
Gibson.
Yep,
He
100%.
I don't know. And that, maybe that's where we see a turnaround is Kyle Gibson shows up here and just a different attitude in the clubhouse.
Yeah,
I don't know if he was,
yeah.
every time we've talked to a player from 2023, they just rave about how important Kyle Gibson was to that
Oh
team.
yeah, for sure.
So maybe, hopefully, it's one of those
Yeah,
things where he gets back in that locker room. Maybe he is the guy who stands up and he's like, hey, this isn't cutting it. Like,
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
the guy going to someone who's struggling and being like, okay, how are we working through this? Maybe
yeah,
he is that
yeah.
guy.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's like that's and I mean, Ripken knows this as much as anybody. I mean, just
Yeah.
the mental side of this game is just it's people so often forget that. Like when you get in your head, you like I felt it when I played, Rip felt it when he played. Everyone's felt it at one time or another.
Yeah.
And there needs to be that guy that is there to be that person, say, hey, as kindly as I can say it, get the heck out of your own head. And another thing that I'm seeing, I see no cohesiveness with this team. It's like they're all playing for themselves. And I don't know what's going on behind the doors, but it's like this just doesn't seem like a team. This seems like a bunch of me's, a bunch
Yeah.
of egos. And it's like,
Hmm.
and until you turn that page to becoming a team, you're not going to win. And I think of the Washington Nationals. From
Yeah.
2012 to 2018, they had the Bryce Harper era, right? It was
Hmm.
all about him. He was the guy. And then he left, and then they won the World Series because they started having fun. They started playing as a team. And I think if the O's can just get back to that mentality that they had in 22 and 23, those were fun teams, not just because they won, but because they had true joy and one heartbeat when they're playing. And I think that's really what it's going to take, is that they got to
Yeah.
come together. Who's our leader? What's our identity? And once you get that, oh, I don't think there's any stopping the scene. The talent is there. They just got to get playing together. And once they do that, I think this team's going to take off.
I do too. And it's all about, like you said, it's about playing together. And you almost, I don't want to say you started to see it tonight, but you saw the inklings, obviously, the sack flies, the ability to bunt. But it is also that selflessness of, oh, we got a guy on second or a guy on first, no outs. We're bunting him over to get, I'm giving myself up so the guy behind me can get the RBI. It doesn't feel like we have a lot of that going on. It feels like a lot of
No,
guys
yeah.
taking swings for the fences, saying, I can be the hero. I can, and that's what was frustrating tonight. It felt like the Orioles multiple times had the tying run at first base,
Yeah.
and the guy at home, instead of being like, okay, if I poke this over, I can get get a run in, and then we move the guys over. We're set up situationally. It's like, no, I'm going for the 3-run homer. It's like we don't need that
Mm,
right now. It's like
no, yeah.
get him
Yep.
over, get the single. If you get a
Yep.
single down the line here, it's going to do just as much.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, that's got to be the mentality. And I got to say, I feel so bad for Rutsch. Like, I was listening to Kevin Brown in the first inning when I think Rutsch's he's him and Gunnar both are putting the barrel on the ball. They're just not finding holes. They're just getting unlucky. And I think that's another big thing. I think once because if you keep hitting the ball hard, eventually it's going to find a hole and they'll break out of that. But I mean, it doesn't look good when you're 1-1 picks batting below the Mendoza line right now. And I think he might be a bit above 200. I'm not sure, but
Yeah,
it's
he
like,
got up to 214 after tonight. I
okay,
actually
yeah,
just
yeah,
pulled
he had
up.
a decent game. He had a decent game.
Yeah.
That line out to shortstop, that was obviously very frustrating because if that gets through, I don't think Gunnar goes to third, but that very next
Yeah.
hit, he scores. And so it's just
With
a lot of things that just went wrong. And I saw on X all the guys complaining about CB's call with Wood, which yes, it was
yeah.
definitely strike three, but it's
Yeah.
like, look, you can't look at that and say we lost because of that. No, you lost because you were 1 for 12, I think, with runners in scoring position. Like that's why you lost the game. And so, but yeah, I think the next step that these boys got to take is just, I really think you need a new leader. And while this roster is not Hyde's fault, it's definitely on Mike Elias. Hyde's got
Mhm.
to go. We need a new captain. And until that happens, I don't think the team's going anywhere.
Yeah. I think, maybe it is something where they just simply need a new voice, just some sort of injection of energy. So we'll see what happens. If they keep on going down this hill, I think there is going to be a change.
Yeah,
I
completely.
don't know how soon, Maybe it's in the next month. Maybe it's, end of season. Maybe
Yeah.
this is unfortunately a wasted year if they do wait till the whole season. So we're going to see what happens with Sam. Appreciate you calling in as always, my guy.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
Awesome. Sam, we'll catch you later. Appreciate it.
All right,
And
man. You have a good night.
hope you too, my guy. Man, it really is tough. You feel like, I know there's all these questions about if Hyde's the right guy and what do they do there. And it's right. It's rightful. I mean, it is when you get to this point and you've been disappointing for about the past 120 games. It's right to question leadership. It's what they've signed up for as well. When they took the job, is it when Hyde knew that he was going to be coaching into the competitive years, that it was not the same. The standard wasn't the same. So that's where it gets frustrating. We are going to go next call to our guy, Gordon, behind the scenes. I think he's fixing something up, so I'll give him a second. Gordon, you ready? Yo, Gordon, what's going on?
Same old, same old. What every Orioles fan is feeling right now. It just sucks, All of this sucks. Like, I kind of went on a rant on yesterday's video in the comments. I don't know if you saw it, but oh man, I had a lot to say yesterday and then today. It just sucks because going down 1-0 is like, all right, you know what? 1-0, first batter of the game, stuff
Yeah,
happens, you go down, what was the count? 3-1 or something, and
yeah,
then you make it. It was a good pitch, and you got to tip your cap to James Wood, put a good hit on it. But, at that feeling, it just, especially the first inning, Adley gets on, and then, just lackluster at bats after that. And then it's just like, damn, do we have to go through this again? Another day of just, it's
yeah,
not even the third inning, even the second, it's the first batter of the game. And it's just it was indicative of how this whole season has been. And it
yeah,
sucks because baseball off season is a really long, it feels like a really long time. And not
mhm,
even just off season. From last from last trade deadline, it was
yeah,
like we've been saying the same thing, and today wasn't on Hyde. I
yeah,
can't say today wasn't on Hyde because when we're 1 for 12 out there
yep,
at with runners in scoring position and only scoring because pop-ups and deep
yeah,
flies, like those deep flies. If we were playing in a little league stadium, shoot, how long would the score would have been like 14 to 2 at that, or 14 to 3. But no, like these, like it's like we're swinging for the fences. And I look, trust me. The highest I went was high school baseball, making it to the All
yeah,
Star team, playing in Oriole Camden Yards. That was the highest that I've ever been in baseball. I don't know how it feels to pitch against hit against the MLB pitcher that is there for a reason. That's throwing up, what was it, 89? His topping out at 89
yeah,
and still making it in the big leagues, fooling guys. Like, I haven't hit against that. But some of these at bats, it makes me wonder. It's like, man, like Tyler O'Neill, you just look like you go out there, strike one, strike two. All right, let me get in defense mode, or F it, let me just swing at whatever's out there and see if my jacked arms can just, get me over the fence. But
yeah,
it's like no cohesion. It's like no, like, what are the approaches out there when we're going? Like,
mhm,
what are we just like, you know what? Let's just get some feel good in here. Let's just swing for like what are the, like, what is going on? I hate it, and it sucks because Hyde is an amazing person. He's a great guy, but this team, this is a business. Like, we're not playing
yeah,
baseball on a Thursday night with people from our church saying, "Hey guys, let's get." This is a
yeah.
multi-million dollar business.
Guys are getting paid a
Like
lot.
you sign up for it, and we don't have time for feelings. We don't have time. Well, man, the locker room sure loves this guy. It don't seem like this locker room sure loves this guy. Like, it's like,
Yeah,
something has to change. And it's not like this is something new where it's like, man, what's going on with the Orioles? We were balling last year, made it to the wild card game, at least one. If we went 1-1 and lost on a walk off, or like the
yeah,
last 2 years, we did duds in the playoffs, complete
yeah,
duds in the playoffs. Second half, lackluster, a whole dud of a second half, wasted a great team. Like you can't blame that on roster construction, because in the
Yeah.
beginning of the season we were balling. We were the best team in the MLB at that point. At least I thought we were the best team.
Yeah.
Something changed, something inside the locker room. Something like you can't blame it on roster construction. Saying Mike, like I understand a lot of people are giving Mike Elias a lot of heat, but other than this offseason, I feel like he did pretty well with this team. Like I know
Yeah, he
everything. Like I would say if anybody has to go, it has to be Hyde. At least give Elias some type of slack. Like I just don't understand. You let the heart, like we don't have any heart and soul of our team. The only heart and soul of our team that we had last year was Tony, my man. Like every time going up there, like my man, like just out there flexing, hitting a home run, and just like I love Seti, but that's not his personality. That's not who he
yeah.
is. And what Tyler
Yeah.
O'Neill said is true. Like when people go down, some people step up. And last year, I felt like if this was this year and Tony was on this team, he would have stepped up. He wouldn't allow certain things
Yeah.
like this. Like if you let things go, at least replace it. But Elias this offseason didn't replace it with anything, and it's starting to show. And it's just like it sucks because we're having the conversation of everything that happened from up to last season, last off season, along with letting key pieces and key figures go and not even replacing it. And it's just like what more can you expect from our young guys that everybody loves Alley, everybody loves Gunner, but this is Gunner's second full season in the league almost. Like
Yeah.
he's still a young guy. Alley is still a young guy. It's not like these guys
Mhm.
are vets to where like they still have to
Yeah.
go through the motions.
Mhm.
Like people don't start hitting their mark even in the ML. This isn't basketball where somebody can just isolate and take over and be like, oh yeah, he's a superstar. Or even football sometimes, like it takes time. Like baseball is one of the
Yeah.
hardest sports out there. You have to
Yeah.
take time, but that's why you go out and get vets. That's why you go out and
Mhm.
get people that can, like at least one guy's struggling, at least 1 through 8's not struggling, and you can, go through the motions with that one person struggling. But, like it's just confusing going up there 1 for 12. Like I'm surprised we even scored 3 runs tonight, and it's just like how
Yeah.
ironic is it that yeah we give up 3 runs and then our bullpen that we've been praising so good just gives up, and it sucks because no bullpen is perfect. Nobody's expecting
No.
a bullpen to go out there and shut out everybody every day, and it sucks because Soto has been balling all year and has been pitching well. You're going to have games like this, but you have to have somebody to pick you up. It's like when something goes down, we don't have anybody to pick somebody up in this team, and it's just infuriating. But it's just like, is this kind of what we expected because we didn't, invest in this team, or is this kind of not okay because the talent that we have should be producing?
Yeah.
Like
And
it's
I think it's both.
confusing.
It is both. It's, management, I think, has failed at times for bringing in, not always bringing in the right players. Like you talked about the right veterans to complement these young guys. But at the same time, in some of these big games or in these big moments, you haven't seen Gunner step up. You haven't seen these guys, the offense completely disappeared in the postseason last year, in the moments that you're hoping that these guys take the biggest steps, Gunner, Adley, all those guys take that step into stardom and go and put their best foot forward to get these, wins in the postseason. And then you lay a goose egg when your star pitcher's going into the ninth inning, only giving up 1 run and you lose that game. So it's extremely frustrating. I think it goes both ways. I don't think that management has made the greatest decisions, but at the same time, you talked about Gunnar Henderson's still 23 years old. I think people forget that. Like he is still 23 years old. This is still his second, full season in the bigs. So, or just finished it. So it really is one of those things where you have to let these guys continue to develop in these moments. So, Gordon, I always appreciate you hopping on. Can you show us what you're working on real fast? You got any?
Yeah, sure. I can show you. Um, Here. It's somebody asked me to make them a rug for their coach. They're graduating from college and they're on like the rowing team at their college. So I'm kind of like
Oh,
working on that right now. It's
oh,
yeah, it's like an oar and like some water at the bottom and some trees. So just kind of trying to
okay.
get this done tonight while watching the Orioles and getting frustrated and kind of a little bit upset, double whammy right now too. I was in my
Yeah.
NCAA Dynasty League and I
Oh,
was in the playoffs and I lost a heartbreaking game 34 to 32 to
oh,
ULM and I'm Arizona. So kind of had a double hit tonight. So
oh, God. That's the worst. But
going
Gordon,
through the motions
uh,
with that.
it really is. Oh my gosh, those losing in the NCAA dynasty is the worst. But Gordon, appreciate you. We'll let
Yeah,
you
I know
get back to work.
it's the absolute worst.
Keep doing you, my guy, and appreciate you as always. Hopefully, we can get you to call in on some wins next time.
I know. Look, I was hoping that we was going to get a win tonight, but yeah, look, it's not over, but oh, one last thing.
Yeah,
Look, I don't understand. The Orioles, we all look, the first game against the Nationals, like it is what it is, especially in DC. The last 3 years, I think I went to the first game. I know I went last year and the year before, and we just laid a goose egg. And it's like, all
mhm.
right, kind of expect that, but tonight kind of was a different feeling, especially when we scored and came back, and you kind of just would expect this team. Like, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just like if losing 24-2 is not going to motivate you to go out there, you're like, at some point
yeah,
you got to start getting. You're a bona fide professional
mhm.
athlete.
Yeah,
And it's embarrassing going out there getting embarrassed. Like, if at some point walking around with your head down after you get a pop up is not just going to be it. It's just going to make you look even worse. Good, like if change your approach. If instead of walking down, at least have some fire under your bat. At least show this
yeah.
team that there's some passion instead of just walking down with your head down back to the dugout and it's just like, oh my gosh. At least if you're gonna lose, make losing fun.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
yeah,
Some sort of passion. That's the tough part is where you feel like they don't always care. And
yeah, I
that's what
know.
sucks is you feel like the energy's not there.
Nah,
So
it sucks, but yeah, you guys be safe and look, subscribe, help these guys get some more subscribers. What's your next milestone? What's your next subscriber
we
milestone?
we're about I think 400 or at 2400. Me and Kevin are going live for 24 hours.
Oh
So we
my
need
goodness.
like yeah. So we're about 400 away. So
Okay. Yeah,
hit
hit the
that subscribe.
like button, subscribe button, go follow these guys, Twitter and everything on YouTube. So yeah, help these guys. They some good guys. You'll be seeing me around soon. So
Uh, I really appreciate you, Gordon, and go
yes,
check out
sir.
Gordon. Where can they find you as well?
Oh yeah, Instagram is at the real 112, the real dot 112, and then Instagram, Twitter is 112 made rugs, and then I'm starting a YouTube coming up soon of like my montage of me making my rugs and everything. So yeah,
Be on the lookout for that. Make sure to let us know when that is up, and we'll go check that out. Gordon,
will do.
appreciate you as always, my friend. You do
Appreciate
well.
you too, my guy. Y'all be safe. And look,
Awesome.
and tell Kevin I said I missed him tonight too. So
I will, my friend. You be
yeah,
good, my guy. Always love when Gordon comes in. Doesn't seem like I'm a lone pocket watch. Appreciate you. The one positive O's development in the last few days. Gordon has become a repeat caller. The emotion, the passion, the facts. Love it. Love it as well. We actually got our last call in. We got our last caller. We got Ryan Ripken. Ryan, you there? Ryan has just been joining and just sitting behind. There it is.
Sorry, I was actually getting. I was having to clip up my defeat from earlier, Zach, um, from the merit burpees.
Don't you just love it? Don't you just love it?
How and I just missed Gordon at the end, but Gordon, shout out Gordon, by the way, amazing work.
Yeah.
Super dedicated, passionate, also just um, passionate guy that loves talking about the game. I love hearing him talk about it. So, and everyone else. I mean, look, this is why you guys created it. Zach, I mean, how you feeling? How you doing?
You know, we're going. I would have loved if the biggest thing that I'm upset about is that Tomo had that incredible just bear down, let me just gut out 7 innings and didn't get rewarded with a win there. I'm glad he didn't get a loss. I'm glad they at least tied it so he doesn't get a loss. but gut-wrenching that Tomo doesn't get the win for that performance.
Yeah, especially after I understand after the first 5 hitters, social media was very calm. And then you're also like, are we really going to do this again? Is this about to happen? But, Tommy just, Tommy Sugano, he pitched his ass off, man. If he gives 7 innings, 3 earned every single outing, I will accept that 100% of the time.
Every single time.
The biggest thing is he gave the boys a chance. It was a great opportunity for the guys to come from behind, gritty, finish the job, and they did tie it. But 1 for 12 in scoring position is not going to get the job done enough. And then missed calls, no missed calls. The gunner check swing's bad. The ball that's middle to James Wood, too much plate is bad. But at the end of the day,
they had their opportunities.
They had their opportunities. And I don't even think that Soto pitched that poorly either. It's just that was the circumstances of what happened. Not turning the double play as well.
Yeah.
And that was a hard double play. But like we see the things, right? It adds up. That turns into a double play. That next sack flies out. You're out of the inning. So there was fight, Zach. There was fight.
Yeah.
You could see it. You just got to start that in inning 1 or 2 where you're really starting to pick it up. You can't try to manufacture and scratch and claw runs later, especially tomorrow with a guy like Mackenzie Gore.
Yeah, another tough lefty.
He's got to. You're going to have to try to get Gore out. You cannot let Gore get into the 6th, because you saw that the Nats bullpen is very beatable. That is their weakness on their roster. So you can get past Gore, keep it close. You're going to have a shot. But, they're on the brink of getting swept for the first time. What's the other phrase I always use, Zach?
Just don't get swept. Win series, don't get swept. You got to find a way.
You find a way right there, then you're sitting there going to Detroit. Well, all right, we can try to change the tide a little bit here, but getting swept and then going to Detroit, you're fighting those same pressures and stresses. So the positive is you get to prove that you can beat a lefty tomorrow. The negative is you're facing a very, very talented left-handed pitcher. So
very talented.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to go down to that. And also with Jason saying like, yeah, Detroit could stomp. I mean, they could just shove it right up there. But the Orioles OPS wise, at least going into tonight, were 2nd in the league against right-handed pitching in OPS wise. So the dudes can slug against righties. They've been inconsistent, but they can hit the hell out of them. But it's the consistency. I mean, this guy, I'll be honest, Jason, no one wants to face that guy.
No
one wants to face Scooby. So he's a beast. I mean, hey, Jack Flaherty, Casey Mize, it's a good team.
Talk about scrappy. The Tigers, that's what they were built on in their run last year, and then they've continued it this year. They're a team that they're just going to find a way. They don't care how, what it's going to take. They'll go bullpen games back to back. They did that against the Orioles back-to-back games last year where they're like, hey, we'll throw bullpens because we know that we can, match up against you guys. They're just going to find ways to win. So they're a very scary team right now.
Yeah. It's I'm really curious though tomorrow, Zach. I don't know if I might have missed it because I was trying to get some things together. Jackson had a great game.
Fantastic.
Really good at bats. You're facing Gore. It's not a favorable matchup. He had 2 knocks. I want to see Jackson back in. I want to see him roll. It's not a good matchup, but you're facing one of the best. See what you can do. I have a feeling he won't be in there. But
yeah, especially after playing back to back. I don't. Oh, yeah. I would love it just simply because of giving him the opportunity. We always talk about he's going to need to face these lefties eventually. I would rather it be now. I would rather him getting it on April, I guess, 24th tomorrow than us sitting here being like, oh boy, It's August, it's September, and we need Jackson to come up with a meaningful hit against the lefty. And it's like, well, he hasn't gotten the opportunities to feel comfortable doing that.
Oh yeah. I mean, look, the only way you're going to get better is you're going to face it. And with your team hurting right now, continue to throw out the young guys and say, hey, I got confidence in you. See if you can do it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, people don't like to say it. It is a long way to go. It doesn't feel good. They got some great challenges ahead, but they gotta step up. The crazy thing is actually when we think about this, and it takes us back, Zach. We talked to Ben McDonald right before the season started.
Yeah.
And this isn't an excuse, but this also tells the story with the Orioles. You don't go deeper into games, you're gonna struggle. That's
Yep.
science. The other part of this, or not even science, is fact. The other part with this, Zach, is when you play better teams, you have to execute a little bit better. And if you look at who the Orioles have faced, Toronto, looking at it right now, Toronto just fell under 500. They're on a little bit of a skid. They're 12-13. Boston's over 500. The Guardians are over 500 now. They played the Orioles when they were trying to get going. The Diamondbacks are 14-9 now. They're getting going. And then the Nationals is arguably the worst team that they've played, and they're 11-13. Cincinnati's 12-13. So,
yeah,
like the Nationals, you could see you had chances. You didn't have to execute as well, but because you had more chances, but you didn't execute enough to win. When you played Arizona, you had to play better. You didn't. When you played Cincinnati, you played well for one game. You didn't play well for the other two. Those things are going to add up to you. And if you don't execute well enough, you're not going to win the game. So, positives today, but the end result is you didn't execute enough to win. The blows early by the Nats, they had one base runner in scoring position until the 8th inning.
Yep. Yeah. Tomo did his job, and when you pitch that deep into the game, you feel like you gave your team the opportunity to win, and it's just unfortunate that the clutch bats couldn't come through. Just untimely hitting whenever they felt like they had opportunities. Because it says runners in scoring position 1 for 12. A lot of those opportunities, it was multiple guys in runners in scoring position. It was a base knock is not just bringing in one; it's bringing in two. You would have just gotten one more of those, that this game looks a whole lot different. You go, instead of striking out with the bases loaded, you just simply put one down the line, get a gapper, bring in three. One of those hits just falling, finding some outfield grass could have completely changed how this game looked.
Definitely would have. I mean, hey, that's the crazy thing is they were 1 for 12 in scoring position, but they scratched across 3 runs. 2 sac flies and a 2-out RBI by Adley. But what do we talk about? You're not always going to get 12 chances to drive a guy in.
No.
And that's what I'm saying about the execution. The Nats, their flaw is their bullpen. And they're going to give you chances. You got to wait them out. You waited them out, but you just didn't get that hit. You're going to go and face Detroit. Detroit's just sound pitching. Top to bottom, they're really good. You're going to have less chances. You got to be ready when the time presents itself. So that's all I got with that, Zach. I got to be honest. I did come home and eat a little bit more. Stomach feels good. I think we should do 50 burpees tomorrow.
Yeah, that was you. I don't know how
60?
you handled that after that day, but Colin the Iron Rooster set us well today. That's for sure.
Hey, what would be a good topic tomorrow? And I'm saying this so I don't forget. And for those that are listening out there, I think talking about with the Orioles, I saw a comment and we touched on it before, but was the development of the pitching staff.
Yeah.
Has been not talking about the big league staff. Just until Brandon Young, I don't think was a drafted player, correct? He was signed.
Yeah, he was undrafted, but he's for the first homegrown.
Yeah, I mean, and look, it's a very interesting thing, but that's something I wanted to dive into. Cade Povich is not a drafted guy. Kyle Bradish is not a drafted guy. The only one that was in the rotation for the Orioles was Grayson Rodriguez, and Grayson
was
a Danny Duquette guy. So there's a lot of different parts here. All right, last thing I'm getting out of here, Beanie. I'm not going to say it's all on Elias for things. I already like the Garrett Crochet move. You wanted Garrett Crochet could have been an Oriole. Like I like that's hey, you want to say to Mike Elias and go, hey, why didn't we want to make that move? Okay, you're going to say you're worried about the elbow. Okay, great. You didn't want Danny Coulomb back because you focused on, hey, bad elbow, which Danny's elbow. It not you got to lie and say that it doesn't look good with the imaging. But do I want Danny? Of course. You made those choices. You got to live with that. You got to answer the call with that. But like a game like tonight, where Tommy Sugar goes out there and balls, what do you want Mike Elias or Brandon Hyde to do when you have your guys that you want up with a chance to beat a back end worst bullpen in baseball?
Yeah.
What do you want them to do? You go 1 for 12.
Mm-hmm.
That's you had the chances. And as frustrating as that is for you can say that game today, that's on the guys.
Yeah. Elias didn't get up there. Like, I've said before, if you want to blame him for, the rotation, not having that front end guy. Yeah. If you want to say maybe that, the Danny Coulomb thing, I disagree with that too. But like, even yesterday, that was the exact lineup. Everyone was like, "Oh, this is the lineup we want to see." They didn't play. They 7-0. It just, and that's not on them. I think there's a lot of things you can blame. Hey, this is roster construction. 1 for 12. Michael Elias had nothing to do with that.
No, the guys you had who you wanted in the lineup. That's a really good lineup. We talked about it on the show today, Zach. No one cares how much talent you have.
Mm-hmm.
They care if you can go out and beat you because everyone in the bigs has a certain level of talent. The Orioles, for the longest time, have been told that they have generational talent, which they do.
Mm-hmm.
They do. But I'll tell you what, in the big leagues, no one gives a shit what you do. The thing is, you go and face me tonight. Great, you beat me. Go and prove it again. And that's what a couple of years ago they were fearless. They didn't care.
Yeah.
They didn't have the expectation. Now they're getting told, well, you're supposed to be this good, and you're not having the success. It adds more pressure to the situation. Other thing, Zach, make a note. We're going to talk about Trey Mancini's conversations about adversity again. I think we need to jump into that a little bit more.
And is that on YouTube right now?
Trey's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah,
Trey's
so
coming out tomorrow.
Interview coming out tomorrow on the Ryan Rickman Show channel. So also always great talking to Trey. 10 out of 10 human.
Trey's great. And look, if you said I was being fairly defensive, I wasn't trying to be with that. I try to be fair with assessment. And I think the fairness gets taken away with me being called a homer or Zach, even though Zach's a lot more emotional than I am. It's not that. It's more so of, let me put it this way. I've been in organizations where people lost their jobs, and part of it's the people that run the ship, and the other part of the reason was the players didn't play well. And my best example of that is Buck Showalter is a great manager. And yes, they had faults going into the season with that roster, but is that on Buck after the 5 years where the Orioles had the most American League wins? Or is that a combination of, okay, the roster might be a little bit depleted, but then your players underperformed?
Yeah.
And I think that's a combination. That's not me saying that Brandon Hyde doesn't have faults. It doesn't say that Mike Elias has made the right moves, but I think there's more that goes into it. The Orioles have Gunnar Henderson, who's an MVP player. They have Adley Rutschman, who is a MVP top catcher in baseball. Jordan Westberg's an all-star. Cedric Mullins is a former all-star. Where does the list keep going, Zach? You could make the case that the Orioles could have 6 position players that are all-stars. That could be.
Yeah.
And right now, the only one that's playing like it
is
Cedric Mullins. So I think that's the point that I want to try to make is
Yeah.
that you can't. The guys got to learn to get out of their heads. That's why we're going to bring up the Trey Mancini conversation, because adversity for young players, that is their biggest weakness. It's not talent. It's how do you get by it? So,
Yeah.
yep. And professional baseball is hard. And guys, by the way, Zach does it. But again, I saw Gordon mention it. Hit that like and subscribe. And also, Zach and Kevin bust their ass for doing this. Not because, well, they love it. Let's be honest. They love you guys. You guys are fantastic. So everything you guys do to be a part of this channel, to help them, it's for them. It's helping them grow, helping us as a community. But they do it because they want to be in agony and happiness with you guys. So I got
All
to
the
do my due
emotions,
diligence.
baby.
So always, always appreciate each and every one of you. But please hit that like, subscribe, all the people that donate. It doesn't go unnoticed for the boys. And we'll get Zach.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a second White Star hat.
Yeah, we're gonna get. I have like 7 of these actually. There are a lot. I've gone through phases of different ones, but I have a shipment of 35 coming in that we're giving away. So people,
Are you really?
Yeah, we're just gonna have a bunch of these hats.
Dude,
I'm giving
I
one
got
for everyone on the show is gonna get one, and then I'm just gonna. If people want one, I'll bring one. I'll bring one to the yard, so I'm gonna have one. You know.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? We're going to have my computer's going to die in a second, so I'll hop off. But we're going to have some fun things for content for people when the Yanks come to town next week. So that should be fun. Can't wait.
Yeah.
But Zach, I'll let you close it out.
Yeah.
Again, everyone like, subscribe, give all the love to Zach for riding solo tonight. And Kevin will be back. He's just going through all of it. He's locked in for the draft.
Yeah, he hopped on for I think about 13 minutes, gave his speeches, and I was like, I gotta go hop on to my next recording. So he is running around.
Yeah, it's good people, man. Good kids. All right, guys, be good. Zach, close them on
Okay.
out. I'll talk to you later.
I will. You have a good one. And gosh, take off the White Star hat. They sucked it. Yeah, maybe everyone always asks about that. I did not realize that White Star was the Titanic. Everyone always thinks that this is Titanic. It is it's not, but genuinely do appreciate everyone for tuning in. Still, we got, hour 25 minutes, and we still have 105 people watching on YouTube. So appreciate you. Oh no, it's not the same White Star, not the same as the Titanic. Although it feels like recently we've been on a Titanic emotionally. So it's not, but that's going to do it for tonight's edition of Kevin and Zach React. Appreciate all of you for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button if you have not already, especially the like button. It's free. It helps us out. So people helping people. Hit that on your way out. Orioles are back at it again. Do they play at 6 o'clock tomorrow, or is it a getaway? Like one of those weird getaway games. 6:45, we're back at it tomorrow. Orioles Nationals. Orioles are trying to avoid the sweep. Let's just find a win, baby. We got something special planned for when the Orioles do get their next win, so you don't want to miss that. But that's going to do it for this edition of Kevin and Zach React. We'll see you next time. Ramon Hernandez. Let's have a day, people. Have a night.